everybody. Welcome to Sarah's Table. Today we are going to be playing a brand new game, which I believe is not officially released yet. Is that real? Has it not? It has not officially been released. See, I know what's going on. It gets released. It gets released tomorrow. Big thumbs up. It's called Ball of the Wild. It is a 9th level game. We have the creator here with us, who is a wonderful friend of the table. They have been here multiple times before. I'm very excited for them to introduce their game. But before we get started, karate chops, I guess? I don't know why. It felt appropriate. We are also going to have our safety discussion. I think it's really important as a responsible gamer and as the DM or as just a player at the table to know where everyone's lines are and to make sure that everybody feels safe and comfortable. So, as always on Sarah's Table, things that are off limits are sexual violence, violence against children, and withholding food as punishment or starvation. Is there anything else that you all would like to avoid today?
No. I'm good. Thank you.
Good. Excellent. For those of you who are watching at home, please know that we are going to do our very, very, very best to stay in PG-13 territory today. We're going to try our hardest. Obviously, subject matter, we don't really stray too often. Thirsty Sword lesbians. Aside from very special episodes. But subject matter, we are usually pretty family friendly, but we're also going to try not to cuss in excitement, which happens sometimes. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to throw it over to my good friend Nat to tell you about the game.
Thanks, Sarah. Thank you so much. I am so excited that we're playing this on Sarah's Table tonight. It is going to be in the level 1 anthology, which is 9th level's yearly publication for free RPG day, which is tomorrow. So if you head on down to your local game store, you can pick up level 1 along with a lot of other free stuff from various RPG publishers. Our anthology has my game, which is called Ball of the Wild, and a lot of other really awesome indie tabletop role-playing games, including one by one of our players here, Whitney. I'm going to get into Ball of the Wild, but we should go around and introduce ourselves first, and I'll pass it to Whitney because tell us about your game in level 1 briefly, and just let us know who you are as well, because this is like a free RPG day party right in here.
Party! What? Hi, I'm Whitney. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a queer dude bro. My game is Tiny Tusks, which is a toasty story game about half-orcs who are loved and supported by both their halves, and it's a game I totally made for biracial nerds such as myself, and to kind of like take away the gross ass narrative that orcs are horrible garbage. And that's me.
and you should go back on 9th Level's YouTube and watch the episode that we did of Tiny Tusks on Sarah's Table with puppets, which I think took it in a direction that even Whitney did not know the game could
Shark bro.
True.
Awesome. Let's hand it over to Adriel next.
Hi, I'm Adriel. I am part of 9th Level Games, and my pronouns are they, them. I love both Ball of the Wild and Tiny Tusks, and that's part of why we're like, yes, let's play these games. So I'm really excited that we're going to play Ball of the Wild today in advance of Free RPG Day. I encourage everybody to put on your mask, go to your friendly local game store and get a copy of level 1. There will be a digital version available, but that can't happen until about a month after Free RPG Day. So if you're like, I don't want to do it today, You just gotta wait an extra month, and you can get it on your computer or phone or iPad or whatever device you have. Nat, back to
Yes.
you.
Thanks, Adriel. And I also just wanted to say that Adriel is one of the visionaries behind this really cool anthology. It's amazing to have your support in publishing games like the one I wrote that we're going to play today, Whitney's game, which I'm unbelievably excited about and also would like to play as myself, who am not a puppet. I am, in
Most
fact,
of the time.
I have an aspect that's very puppet-like, I will admit. But when I'm not a puppet, I am a genderqueer RPG writer and fiction writer. My pronouns are they, them, and I write stuff like Ball of the Wild. I work with Ninth Level Games and Adriel to bring RPGs into the world, and specifically help market them so you know about them and can find them to play. So we're going to play Ball of the Wild, and I hope everybody's excited to come along on a journey of animals and drag.
And fabulousness.
Yes.
It is going to be very fabulous. So are you guys cool to hear about the game a little bit and get started making characters?
Yeah.
Let's do this. So Ball of the Wild is a polymorph game. And I said to myself, I wanted to let folks know what polymorph is. It's this really cool system developed by Ninth Level Games. The Excellence, which you see on Sarah's table, is a polymorph game as well as a lot of the games that you've probably seen on this show. If you are a fan, I hope you are. So basically, let me just hop over here. Polymorph is an RPG system to create easy to use and learn role-playing games. The core thing in Polymorph is let's get all the math, all the systems and rules mastery out of the way and just roll dice to see what happens. So that's what you do in Ball of the Wild. Adriel, is there anything else to say about it?
I mean, the thing about polymorph, and part of the reason that it's been our focus as Ninth Level for the last couple years, is that pretty much exactly what you said, Nat. Like, we wanted a simple, quick way to get into storytelling that still had a structure, right? Because, like, you can imagine anything you want and share a story around the table, but polymorph still has that underlying structure that lets you roll your shiny math rocks, and basically it gives you a way to gamify, and by gamify I mean RPGify, any kind of story you want to tell. And yeah, like the thing that you did, Nat, with Ball of the Wild that has never been done in a polymorph game and that I super love is the contests, which you'll explain more, but like that's the whole thing, right? Like being able to say, I want to make a polymorph game about animals in drag, and I want to be able to do it in a way that gives it like the structure I'm looking for, kind of thing. And that is why we're so focused on it, because you can do that and it's hella fun. So
Yeah, it's really fun. I had so much fun writing this. And basically, when I sat down to write this game, my idea was to create some kind of role-playing game around my love of RuPaul's Drag Race, which it was my COVID project to watch every season of Drag Race. I haven't watched 100% of them. I've watched all of the US seasons, and I need to expand out into Canada, UK, Thailand, and some of the other ones that are not US based. But I've watched a lot of it, and I wanted to play in that world. But I also wanted to find a way to do it where we could be in the RPG space and also be mindful of the fact that drag culture really originated in the ballroom scene. Black trans women are some of the people who are responsible for this amazing art form. And bringing it into the world of animals, I thought was a way to move away from drag as stereotyping and maybe appropriating language, and finding a way to really enjoy the parts of it that are about being genderqueer and playing with costumes and what it's like to dress up as someone else. So in Ball of the Wild, you play as an animal who dresses up as another animal. And today we will be making characters where the idea is we're getting ready to go to the Ball of the Wild, which is a legendary animal masquerade that takes place among the animal queendom. You, of course, will be making performances and being judged by Mother Nature. And the point of the game is simply to put on a fantastic performance and earn 10s across the board, do a good job, be fabulous, and have a really fun time dressing up as the animal that you want to dress up as. So let's make characters. We'll start out, we're going to build our individual legends. And the way to start is simply to decide what is the animal that you dress up as for the ball, and then what is your name? So, Sarah, I know that you had an animal in mind, so I'll toss to you first. So, who is the animal you dress up as?
Should we say what animal we are in undrag state, or no?
No, and in fact,
No.
you'll have the opportunity, if this is something that interests you, to attend a little after party where you take off your costume and reveal the animal you live as when you're not at the ball.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Yep.
I am dressing up as a fox. And I think her name is Fennec the Fabulous.
Awesome. We have Fennec the Fabulous. On to Whitney.
Forgive me if I'm pronouncing the word wrong, but I am Lester the Oyster.
Yes.
Are you, in fact, dressing up as an oyster?
Yep, giant ass pearl and all.
Amazing.
So good.
Adriel, what about you?
I am a raccoon named Dandelion Puff.
Dandelion Puff.
Mm-hmm.
Great. And Ball of the Wild is, in fact, a shared GM game. So I'm facilitating right now, but I also get to play. And this will not interfere with the way the competition works, as you'll find out when that part of the game happens. So I'm going to play a character who is dressed up as a bear. And her name is Honey Wildflower.
Yes. I have a question to clarify. Is she a brown bear, a black bear, a polar
She
bear?
is a very, very tiny bear.
Oh.
So very, very small brown bear.
Okay.
Yep. And in fact, that's the perfect question to ask right now, because what I would love for everyone to do is describe sort of what we would see if we saw this animal dressed up in this costume. Sarah, what about you?
Okay. Well, I mean, I can't help but bring props. So, Fennec is a red fox. The tail is perhaps larger than what you would see on a regular fox. And she uses it sort of as a boa. So she's got like a giant tail boa, and there is a lot of sparkles and rhinestones. You can see this fox from miles away a coming.
I love that. Let's do, so we had Fennec. Lester, what do you look like when we see you dressed up?
You see a oyster in its shell, and the shell is very finely polished, but at the same time it still has a bunch of barnacles on it. But it's like almost like the barnacles like were like meant to be. They're like almost like it was like the barnacles are bedazzled, and like there's some shark teeth crusted in as well. And the pearl has like a pinkish hue to it, and the meat of the oyster is like glistening all the time.
Awesome. Okay. Wait, Sarah, so where did you say the rhinestones were on your character?
Yes.
Okay, understood. Okay, so
Everywhere.
so far, two blindingly glittery animals.
Yes, yes.
I'm feeling with.
You know, like foxes are in the wild, in natural state.
It's a scientific fact.
And Adriel, are you blindingly glittery as well?
I am not. So Dandelion Puff is a big, like, chubby raccoon dude, and he is wearing a 3-piece suit. And the suit is it's like orange and yellow and brown and red, like checks. And he's got a bright blue ascot with some like little shimmery seams sewn through it, and he's wearing gorgeous yellow loafers.
That is a dapper man.
That is just, I'm sure that all of the animals, whenever he comes through, are just like, I like your style. So for Honey Wildflower, it, like I said, is a very tiny bear. And I guess I would say that she just has like normal bear fur, but then on her head is this sort of, it's obviously a mask of a bear's face. And, you know, through the like eye things of the bear's face, you can see behind them just like, that's where the glittering is. It's glittering behind the eye holes of the bear mask. So there's a little bit of glittering and shininess, but it's only underneath the bear's mask, which is a very sort of serious, realistic like bear head. And the fur is like super realistic and obviously like luxury bear fur on this microscopic bear. So
Love it.
So, I'm already, the one thing I'm curious about as far as Lester goes is locomotion.
They kind of like use like a water siphon, and also kind of like waddle a bit.
Gonna hop around.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's fantastic. And what we will do now is we'll get into a little bit of detail about like what we're good at and our figuring out our shiny math rocks, as Adriel said. So the question to ask yourself now is, what do I bring to a performance? So I'm sharing with my folks at the table in our chat the choices, which I'll also read out loud. If you bring magnetism, a glib tongue, warmth, you're sort of a charismatic animal, you might be the host. If you are sort of a singular entity, someone who brings je ne sais quoi, a special look, a special mood. Only you can be you. You might be the headliner. If you bring passion, guts, commitment, go for it, enthusiasm, and maybe also trying what others won't, you might be the daredevil. And if finally you bring effortless technique, skill, acting, dancing, whatever you do it really well and you practice, then you might be the artiste. Each of these will correspond with the die that is your die for the rest of the game, and that will influence the kinds of performances you might be likely to succeed on. So we can each pick one. They don't all have to be different. Is anyone drawn to one of these as definitely my character is this? Yes.
I am drawn to the artiste, and I realized that I made a grave mistake when I introduced this raccoon. His name is actually Puff Dandy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. That is correct.
Thank you.
nailed it.
Great. So Puff Dandy is an artiste.
That's what I was feeling. Yeah.
I think Fennec is a headliner.
I can see that with the yes on the rhinestones.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are the options that haven't been selected so far?
Yep. There's the host, which is a sort of enthusiastic, warm, welcoming, charisma kind of person, kind of animal rather.
Mm-hmm.
And then the daredevil is passion, guts, commitment, willingness to try what others won't.
Mm-hmm.
But you could also be an artiste or a headliner as well.
Yeah.
Adriel, pick for me.
Okay. I'm feeling the daredevil here with Lester because, like, already the choice of an oyster is just mind blowing.
Yeah.
I'm here for that. I love the idea of a daredevil oyster. Then if you're going, are you okay with that, Whitney?
Yeah, that's fine.
I will take the host just for variety's sake. And I mean, I also personally feel that Honey Wildflower is very charismatic despite being very small. So I'm ready to get the party started at any moment. All right.
Also, an excellent name for a host of a show.
Honey Wildflower Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just say yes. So this is a common mechanic in many polymorph games. Each of these roles that we'll play in the group correspond with a single die. This will be your die for the entire game. Puff Dandy will roll a d10. Fennec will roll a d6. Lester will roll a d8. And Honey will roll a d4.
It's Luster.
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 Yes. Like
Luster?
Luster
Yes.
the oyster.
Yes.
Like L-U-S-T.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Ah, that's so
makes
much better
so
than
much
what I said.
Yeah. I was like, it's an odd choice of name, but I'm here for it. But Luster is perfect.
So good. Thanks, Whitney.
It's like the famous drag queen whose name is Bob. Like,
Yes.
it could have been Lester, but I'm with you on Lester. We're fixed it.
We love Bob the drag queen. Like, I'm here for any and all just like side conversations about Drag Race because I watched it during lockdown, which meant I never got to sit and watch it with other people.
Yep.
Too bad my sister's not here. She's been watching it since the beginning, like when it first started. So She'd probably like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, let me tell you. And she watches like the behind the scenes stuff too, so she knows all like this is why this person's mad at this person because of this happened, and then tells me like how the community can be like so horrible sometimes. I'm like, oh, just like in any fandom, hooray!
True.
It's really true. It's really true. All right, so we have one more thing to pick, and then we can actually start imagining what this Ball of the Wild is going to be like. But before we do that, we are each going to pick our style. So, what's your style? We have a few to choose from, and I will tell you what they are here. You can choose as your style camp, which would be a sort of personal style defined by artifice, strangeness, and extreme exaggeration. Anything campy. Fish, which means your style is defined by passing as the animal who you dress up as. It is not required that your animal actually pass and seem like it's legitimately the animal that you're dressed up as, but if you happen to, then maybe your style is fish. It is not about looking like a fish. There is avant-garde, which is experimental, artistic, just avant-garde, right? Like you're into the high art of it. Spooky, which is dark, haunted, and inspired by all that is Halloween. Maybe you're goth. Your take on this is just in that direction. And your final option for style is pageant, which means when you dress up, you're gorgeous and flawless and, you're a pageant animal. So you can pick any of those. You don't have to pick, again, one that's different from everyone else. Whatever calls to you, you can choose as your style.
Well, Fennec is very clearly pageant.
That seems right.
I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to go spooky or avant-garde. Both good choices.
Nat, have you got a style that you were leaning towards?
That's a good question. Well, my character is a host, so I'm thinking that, and given that she's so microscopic, I don't think that she passes as a bear. So I'm gonna go. I would love to go with camp, unless either of you are drawn to that one, or we can all be camp as well.
Go for it.
Awesome. I'll take camp.
Whitney, have you had more thoughts? I wanted to give you some time.
You can go first. I'm sorry, I said this indecisive today.
Oh no, you're fine. I'm feeling like Puff Dandy is also pageant because he really likes to like dress to the nines. And he really likes matching colors. Like that is very important to his aesthetic.
We'll have like the two pageant performers go head to head.
Yeah.
The category is
1,000 pardons. I'm usually a lot more like about my character creation. Can you give me the remaining things one more time? I'm sorry.
So there's spooky, avant-garde, and fish.
Okay. I will go with avant-garde because I think I figured out what my act is finally. I was like, I don't even know. I know what I look like, but I don't know what my act is.
Perfect.
I have to say, when Nat read the description for avant-garde, I was like, that's luster.
Yeah. We've got an experimental oyster.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it so much. So we've got these animals created. We've got these amazing costumes. Now all we need to do is figure out what is going to happen at this ball. So as a group, we get to decide where the Ball of the Wild is taking place. So this can be anywhere. It could be on the banks of the Glamazon River. It could be Miami, whatever. We just need to kind of know where this is happening and what we see in the environment where we're going to have this animal masquerade. So anyone can talk. What does this place look like? What are you feeling about the Ball of the Wild?
I would love it for it to be nighttime, so it's dark.
Yeah.
On board.
Maybe it's in the desert.
Hot.
Ooh.
I love the desert. That's hot.
Is it in an oasis or are we like on sand?
Even hotter. Okay.
Yeah, all right. I'll go with an oasis. Well, because then we can, should we choose to, we can go out into the sand. But there's some reprieve from it at the party spot.
That spot.
So a desert oasis. What kind of landscape are we seeing in this oasis? Like, what's the area like where the party's actually taking place?
I feel like there needs to be some sort of water feature.
Yes. I was thinking that like I want, and because this is a fictional world and I am not worried about the environment in our fictional world, I want one of those like oases around water that like has a light up like runway across it.
Like across the water?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there would be some kind of thing like that. And then there's a seat somewhere where the judge of the ball can kind of sit overlooking this.
A throne,
Yes.
obviously.
Yes. I love that. And maybe just like just an area around here where the audience can kind of mingle and watch it all go down.
And I think that there's also a bar and like snacks and stuff for the audience because, you know, they're mingling, they're chatting, they need
And
something
for the
to
performers.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, although that I assume is backstage. We've got to have a green room, right?
A literal green room.
Yeah.
Because it's made with plants.
What are the snacks?
Well,
I'm pretty sure that blueberries are safe for most animals. So I feel like there's got to be like a wide fruit selection, but also blueberries.
I was also thinking of something that had to do with cactus fruits since we're in the desert. Maybe there's like some kind of drink that has those fruits like blended. I guess in this world we can assume animals are drinking alcohol for whatever reason and they're enjoying
for sure.
Cactus fruit cocktail.
Sometimes you want to do other things.
I'm at the top floor at the house, and even though we have a booster, so I was just like getting like the tail end of the weefies. Yay!
All right.
Okay.
Cool. So
Awesome.
This is maybe going to be not terribly popular, but I think there might be like larva snacks.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, like crunchy larva.
Like made into like Rice Krispie treat situation.
Is someone walking around like with those on a plate? Like, would you like an appetizer?
There's definitely past hors d'oeuvres. This is a very fancy place.
Fancy oasis.
Nice.
Maybe that's the name of it. Fancy oasis.
Fancy oasis. Seems right.
Yeah, I love that. So
Pinky
we,
out.
what's that?
Pinky out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pinky out Oasis. So we've got this kind of bridge over the water. You said there were lights around too, right?
Are they fireflies?
I think so.
And they
Yes.
have a union.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
We're getting paid very well for this.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, these animals do not have exploitative worker practices. Everyone's paid fairly. Everyone's enjoying being a member of this party situation. People have come from far and wide, are enjoying this Oasis experience, hopefully. Okay, so we've got this like sort of scene set, and the party is about to start. So these animals are going to make a grand entrance. So we can each take turns describing our animal making an entrance at the Ball of the Wild. So you can say in scene what we see, what happens, what you do, and just go from there. Who enters the Ball of the Wild first?
And obviously feel free to disagree, but I feel like Honey might enter first.
Because I'm the host.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good point. In fact, maybe there's kind of a sense that everybody's waiting and kind of wondering what's going to happen. There's that kind of energy in the crowd that folks are kind of like, it was supposed to start 45 minutes ago, but we understand that that's how the way of these things, and we're just going to keep drinking. The energy is kind of building up, like, when is this thing going to start? And then all at once, the fireflies dim a little bit, and from the side, that's sort of the entrance area where the leaves are kind of over like this to create a door, which is the door to the green room. A bear flies out of the door and just very slowly like flies up to the little bridge. And then the fireflies come on and she flies over and then just around and up to the throne, where she lands on the one of the armrests of the throne, and she says, "Let the ball begin." And everybody knows Honey Wildflower is just the most fun, the most exciting, the most friendly, the greatest party bear that has ever existed. And so there's just a riot of applause just at her mere presence. And she stands up on her hind legs and is just like this, and a song comes on of da, 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 and everyone's like, yeah, honey, da, da, da. So she sits on the armrest and is like, please welcome your performers of the evening. Next up we have, and then we'll say it is the glistening one themselves, Luster.
So like in the water portion of the Oasis, an oyster trap just suddenly floats up to the surface, and like Luster like bursts out of it. No one really knows how, because like oyster shells can expand, but it doesn't matter because it's amazing, and everyone who's a regular knew to bring shades. Because it is bright. You can probably see it from space.
We love that pearl. Dun, 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 dun. Awesome. Does she, or sorry, what were is Luster's pronouns they, them?
Sure. I didn't think
I don't know. I
Yeah.
thought I extrapolated that from something you said earlier. So
they, them is fine.
Do they stay in the water there?
No, they kind of like they use the bottom of the trap as a flotation device and kind of like make their way to the edge where the sand is.
Woo! And if you weren't blinded, if your eyes are not blinded by the brilliance of luster, we have another very shiny, flawless performer coming down. It is Fennec.
So the lights, the fireflies drop out to nothing. So it's darkness. And then you hear 20th Century Fox by the Doors. And then when the fireflies reignite, Fennec is standing right in the center of the walkway, back to the audience, boa out, and she slowly pivots and catches all of the light as she is turning around. And she does an exaggerated curtsy bow.
I love it.
Yay! Yay! And last but certainly not least, we have the most excellent, also flawless raccoon.
Puff Dandy.
Puff Dandy.
Puff Dandy comes out to a really awesome techno remix of Singing in the Rain. And he's got like a real cool cane and he's just kind of strutting his stuff across that runway. And when he gets to the end, he does a turn, whips his cane up, it opens into an umbrella. And the umbrella is filled with tiny butterflies, also paid very well, who fly out and disperse amongst the crowd.
Oh my God. Everybody, yes.
Yeah.
I'm getting real Tom Holland as Rihanna vibes for that entrance.
And do any of these performers know each other? Has anyone performed together before?
I think so.
I mean, I feel like Fennec and Puff Dandy feel like they shop in the same stores, maybe, just because.
Yeah.
They're
Yes.
both like.
I bet they have like rhinestone evenings where they are together and like, you know, like working on their costuming and things. I think yes.
I feel like Puff Dandy is really interested in Luster and has seen them at other shows, but is like, I could never talk to an artiste of this caliber.
Yeah. This is a special night, actually.
Yeah, and I think everybody knows Honey.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Honey's just like friendly with everybody, just constantly just chatting, living it up, partying, and just really just likes everyone. I mean, that's why she always ends up opening the show, even though, you know, she's also performing, but she wants to because that's just her energy. So she knows everybody just casually from different shows in the past, and you know, maybe she wants to get to know some people a little bit better and make some closer friends after, you know, a lot of parties, a lot of different animals.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do challenges in the Ball of the Wild, and we can decide how many we want to do, but this is basically the main kind of core of the game. So I'll take a moment here to explain how it works, and then we can do the first challenge, which I'll judge because I'm already sitting on the throne, but the judge will change. So the way this works is you will roll your dice and then describe your performance after seeing your dice outcome. So we will not be judging your actual singing or dancing or poetry or whatever the performances that you do, but rather you'll create a scene based on the outcome you get from your role. So it's a little bit different than the way you typically run an RPG, which is you roll to try to do something. With this, you roll to determine the outcome, and then you describe the scene that inhabits that outcome. So the way this will work is the judge will choose the type of challenge. We've got lots of choices, and when it's your turn to judge, I can give you a list. You're also free to make one up yourself. So a challenge is any type of performance that you would enjoy to watch. So some of the ones that I give in the game are, you can have the animals do dancing, you can have them do a fashion challenge, lip sync, comedy, you can have them do a makeover, and acting is also an option. So within those, you can get more specific and you can say it's not just a dancing challenge, but specifically this is a swing dancing challenge, which incidentally, I do think Puff Dandy would have an advantage in. But what you'll do is you'll pick a type of challenge. So whatever is the activity that the performers are going to do. And then when you pick that activity, you will decide the role type. So is it a charisma role, a uniqueness role, a nerve role, or a talent role? And judges can select one of those, or optionally, if you feel like two of them fit, you can give two and let the performer choose which one they are going to roll on based on what makes sense for their character.
Cool.
So, for example, I'll run the first challenge, and I am going to give a dancing challenge. And I'm thinking for this that the idea here is that the performers all have to choreograph their own dance to the same song.
Ooh.
So
Interesting.
So I'll basically say that for that, I think the I do want to give two options here. So you can roll either on uniqueness or on talent for this. And you choose, do I want to go for like a more unique performance, or do I want to rely on my talent? And then you will roll your die and then describe what happened.
Can you
Yes.
give us those four again?
Yes.
The four
The
things.
four role types.
Correct.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Yes. It is.
Could you please also add the target numbers for those roles?
Indeed. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So charisma, which succeeds on rolling a 2 and a 3. Uniqueness, which succeeds on rolling a 3, 4, and a 5. And talent, nerve, which succeeds on 4, 5, 6, 7. And then talent, which succeeds on 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I've tossed those to you all in the chat for this digital gathering as well, so you can look there, or I will remind you.
I have a polymorph-based question. Is there a mechanic for rolling max or rolling a 1?
That is an excellent question. So there is. And what happens if you roll a 1, you have two choices. Either the roll is a failure, or a capability, skill, disposition, or physical characteristic associated with the animal you live as when you're not at the ball helps you succeed.
Oh.
Like that.
Yep. So whoever you are when you're not in costume helps you succeed if you roll a 1, or you can also choose to fail. And then if you roll the highest number on your die, and that would be 4, 6, 8, or 10, depending on the die you have, you succeed. And you're encouraged to describe your successes resulting from your style. So that's your highest and lowest mechanic. Any other questions about challenges? Awesome. So I'm going to judge the first challenge, and then the winner, as I choose, will be the judge of the next challenge. So again, I'll describe the challenge. You all will roll, and then we'll describe the performances.
What's the song?
What's the song?
Oh, yeah.
That's important.
Prevaricating because I'm trying to figure out what the song is. So this is because of context. Like, I can't think of any other song, so I'm just gonna have it be "Sexy and I Know It" by LMFAO. So that's the song. So, and you can roll. You have the option to roll on either uniqueness or talent. So tell me which one you're gonna go for, and I'll let you know if you succeeded or failed. So you can roll your die and see what number you get now.
I chose uniqueness, and I did roll a 1, but I'm going to choose to have that succeed. Because I have an abnormally long tongue.
Do you want to describe your performance and let us see how that comes about?
So, get up to dance to, and I am feeling like my moves are not really like getting the crowd going, and so I like stick my tongue out real far, and it like comes all the way out and does a little loopy-loop dance, and then comes back in. That's mine.
And the crowd goes wild.
Obviously.
I
mean,
love it.
Who doesn't love a good... see, now we're gonna cross into it. But I was gonna say, who doesn't love a good tongue-in, you know?
That's what it was.
I think it's you, Nat. Every time you come on, we get inappropriate.
Oh no, I'm the harbinger of crossing that line. I do know that there are plenty of, I think, like, young teens who watch Drag Race. I think that's about where that falls. Yeah. So still PG-13, but you know. All right, who else has a choice of uniqueness or talent?
Whitney, do you want to go first?
Yes, I went with unique, and I rolled a 3.
So that's a success.
So Lester kind of like waddles onto the middle of the runway. It takes a little while. So I think they get going like while the last act is going, because it like they're behind them, so they're not getting in the way of anything, because it takes a while for them to waddle. It's like the and like the oyster shell slowly opens, and like the meat of the oysters like bouncing the pearl around to like the beat of the music. So like when it gets the wiggle, it's like the wiggle, 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 wiggle. Yeah, it's like the pearl is rolling around.
I feel like my Honey Wildflowers up there like, we love that pearl. That is an outstanding success. Puff Dandy, what happens to you?
I'm gonna go with talent as my challenge, and I'm gonna roll my die, and I got a 10. So, like, own this dance. Like, I'm doing every style, but like perfectly like timed to the beat and the words. Like, I've done some contemporary, I did some Broadway, I did some crumping. Like, Puff Dandy is just like bringing everything he has to sexy, and I know it because he is sexy and he does know it.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
So in this case, I don't perform because I'm the judge, and I can choose anyone I want to succeed. It's not required that I choose the person that got the best number, quote unquote. Whoever I pick will be the judge for the next challenge. And it's hard because I feel like that wiggling pearl was just like totally unbelievable. Meanwhile, Fennec snatched excellence from the jaws of potential defeat and reclaimed the crowd with this amazing tongue move. But Puff Dandy did literally every type of dancing, including crumping. And on the basis of that, Honey Wildflower, as everyone waits with bated breath, announces the winner of the Dancing to I'm Sexy and I Know It challenge is Puff Dandy.
Yay!
Thank you. So now I tell y'all what the next challenge is going to be?
Yep.
Okay, so Puff Dandy, one second. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up the text. Puff Dandy is going to go with a comedy, like monologue. For this comedy monologue, you need to pretend to be a famous animal that we all know and just do a little bit as them. So it's a little bit impression, a little bit stand up. And this challenge will be a charisma or uniqueness challenge because I really feel like either one would help like is accurate for the thing that I am asking of all of these fine performers in front of me.
Okay.
All right.
Who would like to go first?
I will go first.
All right.
I chose charisma. And I rolled max, friend.
Nice.
And Fennec is gonna be a little cheeky. And Fennec is going to be Puff Dandy.
Oh,
Awesome.
She actually comes over to the throne and just to borrow something, and takes your cane, and then walks back to the center. And because they are such good friends and they have nights together where they do that, like she gives a monologue about what Puff is like when he is developing a new act for people to see. And so there's a lot of stops and starts and references to like Puff's favorite snack, and like she pauses in the middle and like grabs a drink from the audience. Sorry, I just need to. I'm a little parched. I just need it, and just sort of like just really roasts him, but in a very loving way.
oh my
I love,
Love it.
it.
And then
Yeah.
and then hands back with a bow the cane.
Who would like to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
So I went with charisma, and I rolled a 3. So that is a success. And I'm trying to think like what I actually do for this. I guess so. My monologue is about that I'm Jake from Adventure Time.
Oh,
Yes.
And the key to this whole thing is like I just can really do the voice. You know, like I've put a lot of effort into this, and I'm just like able to really sound like Jake. So I tell a whole story about like a thing that I did that was like, you know, Finn and I did all this stuff, and then Princess Rainicorn came, and like it was just so much fun. And it has the sort of spin of Honey Wildflower of like being warm and happy and exciting, and it's a story that results in something at the end that's kind of sweet and a little bit sorrowful, but then also like kind of kooky because that's how Jake is. And it just leaves the room like feeling like there was just this like Adventure Time moment by the time the monologue is done. So like kind of heartfelt, but then also like Jake is funny, so everyone laughs, and then everyone is like, gosh, I really just want to rewatch Adventure Time when Honey Wildflower leaves the stage.
With honey. They want to watch it with honey.
Yes, a watch party, in fact. Like, everyone's invited.
Luster.
Does it have to? Can it be a fictional famous character, or does it have to be one that's like
Oh.
in real life?
Absolutely. Fictional, as if you can tell us who it is, then we're
Okay.
great.
So Luster is going to impersonate the actress of their favorite movie, Shark Detective in 3D, who is literally a shark with the Sherlock hat and a pipe, but Luster does kind of like Shark Detective, but like as a drag king. So like Lester puts like a backwards Sherlock hat on, and like kind of like poorly draws like shark teeth on their pearl, and like they kind of like manipulate themselves out of the shell and like do that drag king thing where they like roll their stomach and their chest against the ground as they like inch forward. But it looks really awkward. Oh, sorry. I picked charisma and got it too. I forgot to say that part. I was so excited to describe the drag king.
I'm so into this.
Yeah.
Awesome. So all of these performances have been just amazing. Like, I love Shark Detective too, so getting to see that character like brought to life here in a comedic way, so great. And Fennec, like your impression of Puff Dandy, it's spot on. Like, I don't like to look at myself like that, but you got me, and I'm really like that felt really good. And you know, honey, I love Adventure Time. I want to watch it again with you, and your impression of Jake, like, oh my gosh, it's so good. But I think I really have to go with like my heart, and my heart is me. So the winner of this challenge is Fennec.
My heart is me. Oh,
My
so
heart is
wonderful.
me. I love me.
With that amazing button, why don't we take our bio break?
Perfect.
That's great.
There's like a singing performance I really want to do.
We made it back!
Yay!
Good job, everyone.
Yay!
I'm so proud of us. Fennec has draped herself across the throne. There was a costume change. She is now, because you are in the desert, she is now in desert fox colors.
Hot.
Yes.
To match the surroundings, but still so much bling. And she says, it is time for everyone's favorite event, the lip sync challenge. And you may choose any song you would like, but you must wow us. Who's up first?
And tell us what type of role it is, too.
Oh, this is I'm going to add an element. This is a live band lip sync challenge.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
So you still get to choose your song, but it is being sung by the band.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, because of that, it is a nerve challenge.
Yes. That is excellent.
Because you could choose something much more simple and guarantee that it would be easier. But let's see how complicated we all get. So the band right now is like vamping until the first person comes up.
Let's see.
I'm having trouble because there are two different songs that I want
Ooh.
to lip sync to, and I just don't know. So.
Maybe you should let the dice decide. You can roll,
Oh,
roll
yeah.
even one, odds the other.
Good call.
So what happens mechanically if you don't roll your number, but it's not a 1?
Oh,
That's just a failure.
just a fail.
Okay.
And
Okay.
part of the reason we roll ahead of time is so that you get to narrate that failure
Okay.
and explain how things went spectacularly wrong.
Yeah.
Could
Okay,
still
I
come
get
out on
it.
top.
Yeah.
Depending.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. Ugh.
Is Lester going first then?
Yeah, sure, why not? So I haven't gone
Okay.
first yet. Okay. So, the song that Lester picked is "Different Lives" by Knower, which is it's a quiet, gentle, like almost romantic song, and the Fireflies. Oh, I rolled a 3, by the way, which is one number shy.
Yeah.
So the lights go, the fireflies go out, and then they come back on, and Lester is in a giant, like, yes, Lester is an oyster, but Lester is in a giant, like, clear glass pot that's almost looks kind of like a clam boil, but it's like a bioluminescent clam boil. So like all like the floating like potatoes and corn have like a glow to them. And it's and since it's a boil, it is boiling. And I like to say that the 3 it's boiling effects, but it looks very realistic, so it makes some of the people watching nervous. But the 3 is that the boiling effect is supposed to stop, and it doesn't.
Oh.
So like Lester is making the best of it, and Lester is going to continue their thing. And what the bubbles are kind of distorting is that Lester is like putting a meaty hand against the glass and lip syncing to themselves, to their reflection. But while the bubbling keeps happening, so it's supposed to be like really cute and sweet, but the bubbling just keeps happening.
Oh no.
Yeah. So like you can tell that Lester's getting a little frustrated as they're like trying to like, you know, like make like intimate contact with the glass as they lip sync the song. And like as the music fades, Lester kind of like crawls back into their shell, and the shell slowly close as like the all the bioluminescent like corn and potato props dim, and the bubbling keeps happening.
Oh no.
And like you can, and anyone on set can hear them cursing inside of their shell. Very prominent types of swears.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Intimacy ruined.
There's a confused smattering of applause from the audience. Just yes, good job.
Stupid bubbling effect.
All right. Fennec calls for support, and you know, let's see one more time. Let's hear it for Lester. Wonderful. Just a effervescent performance. Next.
I'll go next. I rolled a 3 on nerve, which is also a failure. So the lights kind of dim to this very soft romantic glow. And there's also been a costume change, which is that Honey Wildflower has gone and gotten like a very dramatic silk scarf. And she comes out with obviously like a very, very tiny little microphone. And she sings Hello by Adele.
Oh.
So it's very like, and there's like some assistants, some small monkeys that are fanning like this to get the scarf to blow back as she sings the chorus of the song. And it's just the most like dramatic, or not singing, it's lip syncing, of course. Yeah. It's the most dramatic performance. Just, she's really into this song, obviously just like really like knows the emotion of it. She's moving with it and just kind of tossing back and forth to get the scarf in the action. The problem with this performance is you cannot see her mouth.
Oh, right, because it's full mask.
Mask is completely covering it. Even if she didn't have a mask, it would be very tiny and difficult to discern what was moving. So everyone's sort of like, is she lip syncing? We don't really know how this fits this performance. She's obviously really into the song, but the people in the back basically just see like this tiny figure kind of going like this. And there's a tiny, tiny little scarf coming off. So they definitely can hardly even see what she's doing, let alone even the people in the front like can't tell that she's lip syncing. Of course she is, but it's just not visible.
Sure. I have to tell you that when you said there was a scarf, in my brain it was a full size scarf. and your tiny little bare body like just draped like a little ghost just hanging in there.
Like up inside it, like no, she has a
little tiny one. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Oh man. The music fades and Fennec says, Honey Wildflower, everybody. Honey Wildflower. Definitely know that she was working so hard with her her little tiny mouth, I'm sure.
That's right.
Our last performer of this category.
Puff Dandy is ready. I rolled a 7 on nerve,
Okay.
so I'm very excited to succeed here. The stage is dark. The lights come up, and there's like this like blue light in different shades that's like doing a wave thing, and you can see like some white puffy clouds kind of coming in back of the stage, and like the lights come up, and there's Puff Dandy in the middle of the stage. He turns around. He's wearing perfectly tailored with a beautiful crisp pleat, navy blue pants, some blindingly white loafers,
Ooh.
and like a jacket. It's like a tuxedo type cut, but it's clearly sort of to be evoking the military, the Navy. It's got like gold braiding all over it and down the sleeves. It has a mandarin collar with gold braiding on it, and it's got a cap on, a sort of
Yes.
like sailor type cap, but like a captain type cap. The band starts up, and Puff Dandy starts lip syncing Brandy. Brandy, you're a fine girl. Goes through the first part of the first verse, gets to the second sort of little section. You know, there's a girl in this harbor town, more lyrics. She serves him whiskey and wine. And he gets to the line, yeah, your eyes could steal a sailor from the sea. Pulls off his hat and just like stares deep into Fennec's eyes.
Oh.
And then keeps lip syncing. The band is like working from Puff Dandy's cues right now because like he is owning this stage. Takes off the jacket,
Oh.
pulls off the pants. Turns out they were like the rip off or whatever you call clothes that come off that way.
Whatever you
Tear
call
away.
clothes.
Away, thank you. And underneath is a sleeveless blue striped t-shirt with like a little like flirty little kerchief in blue tied around Puff Dandy's neck. And now he's wearing white booty shorts, and he just like lip syncs the rest of the song. And even though this like performance has been very like focused on his outfit but also on his presence, when he gets to the last, but my life, my lover, my lady is the sea, there is a tear in everyone's eye.
Oh my goodness. I mean, listen, I think it's pretty clear that our winner is Puff Dandy.
Congrats, Puff Dandy!
I loves me an outfit change. Right in the middle. Good reveal.
Yeah.
Excellent job. I'm not sure those pants were supposed to be tearaway, but they are now. Fennec salutes you.
Since Puff has already judged a challenge, would Luster like to take this one?
That's your victory, bro.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. This might be our last challenge.
Luster is taking the stage time.
So if is there something you want to do besides singing, Luster? Because we just did the lip sync.
Right.
And I will run that challenge, whatever it is. The options we have are like dancing. We've done it dancing, fashion, makeover, lip sync we just did, and comedy, which we just did, and acting.
What are the options again? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Fashion. I'm going for the ones that we haven't done yet.
Okay.
Fashion, makeover, acting.
What would makeover be?
So, Nat, do you want to describe the makeover challenge, or would you like me to?
I can describe it. Yeah, it's just, I mean, you make over another animal. You give your partner, whoever that is, a gorgeous look that makes their costume and yours appear as part of the same family.
Oh.
So the judge in this case assigns you an animal from the audience and tells you what kind of animal it is that you will be making over.
Okay.
Fancy.
Adriel, if I could actually take the judging, I would
Yeah.
love you all to do a group performance that's acting.
Okay. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Do we have like a scene that you're giving us, or are we?
I would love for the three of you to do cell block tango.
Yes.
Tango.
So, good.
I was just wondering what stat we are rolling for that.
Yeah.
The stat of your choice.
Oh, I love it. Do we?
And you can pick whatever character you want in the song.
Okay.
Do the three of us have a little meeting beforehand just to kind of figure out how we're gonna?
Yeah, you should coordinate because you want to go in the right
Yeah.
order. Otherwise it's not the cell block tango. It's
Right.
a cell block hot mess.
I would like to have him run into my knife 10 times, please.
So, Honey Wildflower's like, I have never seen that, so you guys are gonna have to tell me what to be.
I've never seen it either.
Okay, so I think Honey should be the only innocent one.
Ooh. Okay.
So you're gonna have to speak Russian. You cool with that?
Totally. I'll do my best.
Great.
Yeah.
Not guilty.
And I think that Puff, Puff, you got quite the style. And I think perhaps that you are artistic differences. He saw
Ooh,
himself
okay.
as alive, and I saw him dead.
Okay.
Which actually I think that puts me first. I think it's me, then Honey, then
Yeah, because this is last.
all right. I'm choosing charisma. I rolled a 3. There has been another costume change. Fennec is now in Silver Fox mode.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna put it out there and say that this is her favorite musical. So she knows all of them and is going to try very hard to not lip sync in the background of each of the other performers. She really hits it. So she's very sleek and glittery and she for her props, she has very long claws naturally, and so she pulls them out for he ran into my knife. Ran into my knife 10 times.
Nice.
Cool. So, Honey Wildflower is like, I've actually never seen this musical, and she like really quickly like studied the little outline of the performance, and there's a chair involved, right?
Yes. Could be.
So she So, like, in her mind, like, preparing for this, she's like, there's a chair, and I need to be sexy.
Yes.
So, she comes out onto the, like, top part of the chair, and yes, this bear can fly.
Yes.
So, you know, she flies up to the top of the chair, and then she kind of
Is it
like,
a real size chair?
it's a normal size chair. Yes. Yes, I realized that I need to say what the scale is of the objects, because last time the scarf was tiny, but this is a normal size chair. So she kind of like sings her part and is sort of like going along the top like this. And then there's like a like it's one of those chairs that kind of has like a thing like this in the back. So she like gets to the edge of the chair and then slides down into the interior of the back of the chair, like, dun. And while she's doing that, she speaks Russian. And ends up like at the very end landing in the middle of the seat of the chair, just like,
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Oh, wait, sorry. I actually described that and I forgot to roll because I
Oh.
got so sucked into it. Hold on.
So exciting though.
I also was gonna pick charisma because I am a very charismatic bear, and I'm essentially like relying on my inherent like ability to sell people on my personality and my appeal to get away with the fact that it's really obvious I haven't seen the musical and I don't know the song. So I rolled a 3.
Rasputin.
So this whole thing in the chair, and everyone was just like, oh, honey, she is just the most charming and funny. And it's like one of those things where like the person doesn't know it, but like that makes it even more fun and appealing because the person just owns it and is just like, hey guys, like this. So when she lands at the end and is like, everyone's like, yeah! Yeah!
Yes.
So she sells it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it's, I think Puff Dandy is going to bring us through here.
I got really excited about cheering for Honey, and then all the cheering stopped, so I was like, oh no. Okay. So I decided to roll on talent because Puff Dandy also is unfamiliar with the cell block tango, but Puff is 100% positive that he can pull this off.
Oh yeah.
So roll, and I got a 9.
Yay!
There has been another costume change for Puff. He's now wearing like this really gorgeous, like bright red velvet jacket with like black satin the part of a jacket that is this part, and it's got pockets.
Lapels.
Thank you. Lapels. And he's wearing like tight satin pants that have like just a little bit of like perfectly matched red geometric embroidery. Like it almost goes into Vegas, but it doesn't. It like skirts that line and still looks classy.
Tasteful Vegas.
Tasteful Vegas. Puff comes out, turns to you all. I loved Al Lipschitz more than I can possibly say. He was a real artistic guy, sensitive, a painter, but he was always trying to find himself. He'd go out every night looking for himself, and on the way, he found Ruth, Gladys, Rosemary, and Irving. I guess you could say we broke up because of artistic differences. He saw himself as alive, and I saw him dead.
Yes.
Puff bows and exits.
Wonderful.
Oh my gosh. The way you narrated the ending of that made me feel like it was like he did it as a spoken word piece.
I mean, they are.
I mean, yeah, it's acting,
They don't
not
sing them.
singing.
They
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
they just speak them. So
Yep.
So it is.
it is, yeah.
Yep.
All right, Luster.
Can I say you're all winners?
Yeah. Everyone, there's a group effort.
Group effort is group victory.
Yes.
And I like kind of fly over to each of you and give like a very tiny high five.
The tiniest of high fives. I just hold my hand up for you to bump into.
I just go like this. My little fur just sort of bumps into your palm, and then I fly over to Puff Dandy. Do you hold up a paw? Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
Bring it all back. Let's go around the table and tell everybody where we can be found on the interwebs. I'm going to start with Whitney. Where can we find you?
You can find me at littlewishproductions.com, where you can find my portfolio, which I should include my game resume at some point. You can find me at Twitter for Whittle Dragon. It's Little with the WIDDLE, where I am mostly posting about bro culture, my projects, which is a reprint of my aquatic diceless role-playing game Prism, and my Lady Blackbird hack, which is a gig economy app, but for criminals.
Awesome.
And you can find, again, you can find Tiny Tusks in level 1 as well if you want to play a story game about half-orcs. And that's me.
Also, Whitney is a spectacular artist and drew me as in my truest DM form, hugging a D20
Yes.
with pink hair. Hire her.
And a crown.
And a crown.
It was more like a tiara, I guess, but because your hair is so fabulous, the hair is like, sorry, crown, I'm the star.
She gave me true mermaid hair, true flowing, voluminous locks. It's my inner self. Adriel, what about you? Where are you at?
You can find me on the internet at ninthlevel.com. You can also find me on Twitter. My username there is reindeerbee. Wow, been a long day. And I make games and I help other people make games because I want there to be more good games in the world. So tomorrow, go to your friendly local game store, wear your mask, get a free copy of level 1. And if you're a designer, please submit, because we're going to have the forms up very soon, and we would love to see what kind of games you out there make. Yeah.
Yes. Nat?
Yes. So Nat Mesnard is my full name, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Nat Mesnard. That's NATMESNARD. And I have a website, which is nataliemesnard.com, and all of the many things that I make are listed there for you to check out. I just wanted to echo that as someone who works with Adriel on all things 9th level, you should follow 9th level on Instagram, which is at 9th level games.
Yes.
And on Twitter. I post on behalf of 9th level on both of those places. And if you want to submit to level 1 and have your RPG considered for potential inclusion in next year's anthology for Free RPG Day, you can find out when the portal for submitting goes live by following us on social media. So everything we do, we post about. It's a great way to find out what we're up to. We've got some really fun stuff happening in the fall. including a 2-launch Kickstarter for our forthcoming non-binary story game, Women Are Werewolves.
It's so good. It's
Thank
so
you, Nat.
good.
So lots of stuff from me. I play 2 identities, my designer self and my 9th level self. And I love being both of those people.
Very much like the game that we played tonight, where you got to be 2 people.
Yes, it is my favorite thing.
I'm Sarah Moore. You can find me on Facebook at Actor Sarah Moore. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Ko-Fi, TikTok, probably other places at Pixies and Pins. Also, my day job is working with Peter Atkinson on his passion project, World of Chaldea, and you can find me all over the internet on that at World of Chaldea. Next week, we are starting a 2-episode arc of The Labyrinth that my partner is being so gracious to come on and DM so that I can play, because I've wanted to play forever. So our Halloween episodes are going to be set in the world of Jim Henson's The Labyrinth, which I'm super excited about. And then there's going to be some puppet shenanigans around Thanksgiving time. We're going to have some stuff coming up. I am the biggest fan of Christmas and Holidays of Light, and so coming up in December, we're going to have all themed one-shots around Christmas and or other holidays of light. Should definitely come back. And that is every Friday night right here on twitch.tv/levelup_TTV on Sarah's table at 6 p.m. Eastern. I think I said all of the information. That all seems right.
Yeah.
And we're also, I believe, up on 9th Level's YouTube.
Yep.
If I say everything with a question mark and in my voice at the end, someone confirms for me.
Totally.
This is the best. So thank you all for joining me tonight, and thank you at home for watching. I hope that we inspired you to go buy this game and or become a drag or burlesque performer and or both, because both is good. If you play this, please tweet at us and let us know what animals became which other animals. Tell us all about your adventures. I'd love to hear it. And as always, keep making art and keep being art. We will see you next time. Mwah! So many.